guys, I would like to welcome you guys to my YouTube channel. If it is your first time here, welcome. If you came along, welcome. Please subscribe. This is a subscribing trap. Okay, if it's your second time again, welcome. Thank you once again for coming. And if you're a frequent day one, a frequent sequence on my channel, chat. Welcome. You deserve a round of applause. You deserve a standing ovation. You are the star. Okay, so today I'm hoping to make a short video on the concept of forgiveness, forgiving yourself, self-forgiveness. It's actually something I wanted to share because it's actually a journey that I've been going through, and I think maybe it might help someone out there who may be struggling or may not see the importance of doing so. Okay, so what is forgiving yourself? Forgiving yourself is accepting things that have happened in your life, especially things that you may feel that you may have caused, any issues, any drama that you may feel you may have brought upon in your life or those around you. Okay, and it's important then to realize that, first and foremost, accept the part that you played. Okay, denying, making excuses, not owning up to your part. I'm not talking about other people's part and then you carrying that burden, but I'm talking about you accepting the exactly the things that you did, own up to them, and then letting them go. Okay, accepting and letting go that yes, you did that. Letting go of the anger, letting go of the frustration, letting go of the how could I, why did I do that. Trust me, if you knew better at the time, you would have probably done better, but you didn't. You were at the stage you were in, you were going through whatever you were going through. Okay, and it's not making excuses for it, but saying, okay, I did that stuff and that was messed up and I'm never going to do that again. Okay, so it's accepting the things that you did, okay, and taking ownership and responsibility for it. Okay, and then so when you've understood the concept and you've accepted that that's what you've done, and then still being able to realize that you were worthy of self-love, you were worthy of life, that you are worth every single amazing thing that is about to come your way. You are worthy of a relationship with God. You are worthy of self-fullness. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of happiness. Because many times after certain ordeals have happened in life and you feel like you were the cause, we tend to like want to punish ourselves. You tend to want to hold on to that and then just deem yourself as this horrible person who doesn't deserve any goodness in life, which is not necessarily true. You sometimes learn through those things. Okay, and you, by doing that, by understanding that these trials, these tribulations, these ordeals are lessons that you have to learn from and are things that you had to go through to be able to be the person, or to prepare you to be the person that you are ought to be in the future. Okay, so that is the whole concept of accepting and forgiving yourself. Why is it important to forgive yourself? It is so important because then when you forgive yourself, you're able to move on. Okay, you're able to look forward to the future. You are able to grasp whatever situation may happen that may be difficult, that may be hard, any future situation that may come your way, but you're able to deal with it steadfast, with a strong mind and confidence that things will be okay. Okay, you cannot constantly be in a state of conflict. You cannot constantly be in a state of self-hate and self-loathe, because that's where it ends up being. That's what it ends up becoming. Okay, so it's being able to move on through life, being able to look at things in a positive light, and then being able to overcome any obstacle that really comes your way, and looking forward to the future, and looking forward to the goodness of what life has for you. Also, when you look at people, to be able to look for the positive rather than the negative stuff, and to just be able to live life to the fullest, okay, so that you're not, held back by your past, held back by the things you didn't do. And another reason why it's important to forgive yourself is so that you do not settle for things that you shouldn't be settling for. Okay, sometimes we go through stuff and you feel like you're less than, and you feel like you're not worthy, and then when something that looks a little delightful comes your way, you forget the things that matter to you, and you begin to settle, and you begin to like compromise yourself and your value, and then you find yourself in situations that have been self-compromising because you look down upon yourself, because you don't have that zeal to say that, you know what, I'm worthy of more, this is what I deserve, this is what I want for myself. Okay, and when you don't forgive yourself, you end up just going through a perpetual vicious cycle of just downfall. Okay, and you don't deserve that. You deserve so much more than doing that to yourself. Okay, and then, so when do you realize that it's time to forgive yourself? It's when you look at yourself in the mirror, and the things that happened begin to play in your mind. It's when it's starting to affect you looking forward to the next day. It's when you start to feel that you're not worthy of anything good. It's when you start to feel that everything bad that is happening in your life is something that you deserve. Okay, I want to tell you today that you don't deserve anything bad that has happened to you. Okay, especially if you've learned from the mistake, especially if you're in a state of realizing the wrong that you've done and learning from it. Let me tell you something, nobody's perfect. Okay, and people can call you and name you things and point fingers at you and categorize you and just castrate you and ostracize you, but at the end of the day, you're worthy of another chance, and nobody out there is perfect at all. Nobody. So why are you so hard on yourself? Why are you beating yourself up about things that have passed that you've overcome? Why are you beating yourself up for being a human being? Why? Because nobody out there is perfect at all. Nobody. Okay, so you just need to realize that. Well, I found that I had to realize that. And that, yes, we do things, but when you've learned from that mistake, you've taken accountability, you've said I'm sorry to the people you need to say I'm sorry to. Yeah, actually, also the most important thing is when you forgive yourself, the process of doing that is identifying the wrong that you've done and then apologizing to the people that you have hurt. Okay, and then it's up to them if they forgive you or not. Okay, so a simple I'm sorry for what I've done, this is what I've done, and stating what you did, what are you sorry for, and meaning it, and then you've done your part. Okay, so I'm not saying go around hurting people and then say you're going to be sorry, because then that doesn't mean that you're sorry. But what I'm saying is, when you've realized you're wrong and you're working on yourself and you're really trying, and you are taking ownership for what you've done, and you apologize for your part. I'm not talking about the other person's part, because I also believe that a lot of the time conflicts is very much a two-way thing. Okay, there is conflict that is one-sided, but a lot of the time, like long-term hectic conflict is between two people, and two people have played a part in that. But when you've decided to own your part, and you've decided to not dwell in the situation, and you decide that, you know what, it's time to heal, it's time to grow, it's time to forgive myself, and then it's time to give yourself a chance to be forgiven, and the other person to also forgive you and also go through their journey of healing. It's important that you give the other person that you acknowledge your parts and that you apologize for what you've done. Okay, I'm not saying do things that are like impossible to please the other person, go above and extra and beyond. I'm not saying now you should bow down to them, but just to say I'm sorry and I apologize for what I've done. I did this and I did that, and I'm sorry that it hurt you. That is something that is important not only for the other person, which is also very important, it's also important for you. Okay, and once you've done that, you've kind of taken ownership for what you've done. You've become a bigger person, and you realize your mistake, and you're just trying to clear the karma, clear the air, and just so that you can move in a frequency of higher understanding, of healing, of contentment, of peace within yourself. Whether the other person forgives you or not, that's not really something you can change nor help. What you can help is not do it again. Okay, but you know, there's really, once it's been done, it's been done. There's really nothing anyone can do about it. Okay, so who can be involved in this journey? Like for me, I've gone to therapy. I've seen a psychologist. Just also talking to friends, talking to people who kind of know you and understand you and aren't always seeing the bad or the negative in you. Okay, so friends, family, also I said a therapist. Those really help. And if you think a therapist is for crazy people, shame on you, because you're missing out on a wonderful experience to be able to do a whole lot of self-introspection from a completely unbiased person from the outside, and you get to actually share your perspective with the person who's not going to judge you, who's not involved in your life, and they're able to see where you've gone wrong, where the other person has gone wrong, without any bias in any situation. A person who's just a complete third party who's not involved. Okay, and they're actually trained and qualified to help you navigate through your feelings, emotions, your hurt, whatever. So it's actually a very good opportunity to make sure that your mental and emotional health being are at its optimal level. Because let me tell you something, living life when you're like mentally and emotionally and spiritually incapacitated is not easy. Okay, so in order for most things to work, you need your mental well-being to be stable, and your emotional well-being or your emotional stability to be at an all-time high. Like, it needs to be as optimal as you possibly can. Sometimes you cannot do it on your own. Okay, so I also do recommend that if you're dealing with like intense feelings of self-doubt, pain, difficulty in forgiving yourself, difficulty in forgiving others, and difficulty in moving past certain situations that you may have caused or others may have caused in your life, or unforeseen circumstances, then I think it's quite advisable to go and seek help. You don't have to be at your worst and like at your emotional breakdown, but just having someone to talk to, having someone to help navigate through that situation can be so helpful. Friends that genuinely love you and always want to see the best in you, not a friend that's going to lie to you and tell you that you are an angel and you're perfect, no, but a friend that's just going to show you some love, show you some appreciation, remind you that you're a good person, remind you the good things about you, even when it feels like you've forgotten, or the people you would love ukuthi they remember have forgotten. But that one person who will stand by you with your good and with your bad, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, anyone you feel close and safe rather in confiding in, that is your go-to person. Okay, and yeah, before you basically go out there and start asking for a second chance of forgiveness, make sure you mean it. Okay, don't do it for the culture. Okay, this is serious. Okay, and if you're really looking for this healing, you need to do it when you mean it. So if you still don't understand what you did wrong, if you're still in that space of like, oh, I never did anything wrong, oh, and you're still at that space of like making excuses for yourself, it's not gonna work. You need to own up to it. You need to, for me, what helped was owning up to it and spending a couple of days by myself and just doing some introspection and tapping deep into the ugly and asking myself over and over again, am I this person? Am I as bad as it seems? Why did you do it? You know, was there a better way? And now that I know, would I do it again? You know, these are things that you really need to sit down and work through. You need to look into yourself, the good and honey, the bad, the bad too, the bad too. You need to look at it and you need to unwrap it and you need to look at it. And if it stinks, you need to smell it. You need to whiff it. You need to look at it. All of you, the ugly part of it, the decaying part of you, that side of you, you need to look deep into it, honey. Like real deep. Okay, and then, so what does it mean? Where do you gain the sense of forgiveness? It's a mind thing. So you have to work through your mindsets. That's why I'm talking about mental health, mental stability. And when I say mental stability, I don't mean you're going crazy or whatever. There's sometimes an unsettledness that can take place and just can reside in your mind. Okay, where you just constantly feel restless and not at peace mentally. And then it can just disturb your thought process when you're thinking through things. You can't even think of a simple solution to a simple problem because your mind is just so restless. You know, it's constantly thinking. You know, that's when you know that you need someone to help you navigate through your thoughts, through your emotions, through all of it. Okay, and your heart as well. That is very hard because that's where you need to find yourself worthy of forgiveness, your heart, and work. And it doesn't mean that when you've done something wrong, you're not hurting. Maybe you did it because you were hurting from a certain situation. Okay, so you need to work through that pain that you feel, and you need to convince yourself in your heart that you're worthy of peace, you're worthy of happiness, you're worthy of just contentment. Okay, and your soul, child, when you're breathing and you're closing your eyes and you're just not really focusing on the tangible things and you're just thinking of yourself in a more soulful manner, you need to make sure that it's at peace. It's not ugly, it's not conflicting, it's not fighting, it's not paining, it's not bleeding your soul. And I find that listening to music that resonates with what you're going through helps. And also having like a place where you can maybe record your feelings and listen to them. Because for me, writing in a diary, it doesn't, or a journal, I'm not a journal person. But when I actually say the things, or sometimes I even talk to myself, which is all cuckoos, but it really helps. Because all of those feelings, all of those things that you wish you could say to someone but can't say them because you know it's going to cause further conflict, when you're sitting by yourself and you have the opportunity to say it. Talk to yourself, talk to something, to the air, as if that person was there. Then talk to you, like, okay, but girl, what was wrong with you? Why did you do that? Does it really, like, talk through it? But and then just be like, no, but I'm not a bad person. Okay, this was a bad thing. You need to separate what you've done, from who you are. Okay, and also praying, meditating, that really helps a lot. Like finding your spiritual character, your soulful personality, also focusing on those things can really, really, really help you, a huge mile in your journey. Um, I really hope that this video kind of helped you tap into a place within you where you can begin your journey. I'm not a psychologist or anything of that nature, but I have been through my own fair share of this experience. It's a journey that I am still on, and a journey that I hope I will master as time goes on. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you resonate. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, if you're going through a similar journey, if you know someone who's gone through this, if you just have any thoughts or anything that you want to say, please do comment. And yeah, I love you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much for supporting, and thank you. Next time, honeys, when we've got something to talk about. Bye. Thank you.